prayer, please.
Father in heaven, we thank you so much for this day. Lord, we love you so much, and we thank you for our friends and our family. And Lord, we thank you so much for your grace. And we just pray that you be with us all here tonight. Watch over us, guide us, and help us all make the best decisions, Lord. And we love you so much in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Michael Vanderboer.
Aye.
Laura Wagner. Here. Mayor John Suzuki.
Here.
Funky Stevenson.
Here.
And Marie Anderson.
Here.
All present.
Thank you for all of those of you that are here to witness these momentous events of our meetings. First thing on the list, we've got consent agenda. If you guys got questions or motion for that. I didn't have anything. You guys had anything? 52.
I'm just glad we didn't have 6 meetings again.
We will start soon with budget.
I know.
Enjoy this one while you can. Next month.
Yeah.
I don't have any questions.
Anybody else?
Just to reiterate, though, the one bill that we have that is for consulting fees, we should have already started the renegotiation and stuff for that, so it's not the complete amount. We discussed it last month, and that was something that was in a concern, and then we did verify that the bill that was presented was from December's. So, did I hit everything you wanted to hit on that? Okay, making sure.
Motion.
I'll make the motion to accept the consent agenda this morning.
Motion, we have a second.
I'll second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Aye.
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 Passes. Old business, Bill 1356, Ordinance 1728, Ordinance repealing Ordinance 2-806, which was protective headgear required for motorcyclists. We have to read that twice or once?
Twice. I think we talked about it once, we didn't have an actual ordinance made.
We had talked about it once?
Yes, but we haven't read it.
We haven't read it before.
Right,
We haven't had the entire ordinance.
right. So twice.
Well, it'd be nice if the clerk read one for a change.
I'll take a turn.
So it'd be a good one to start with.
All right. Bill number 1356, ordinance number 1728, an ordinance repealing ordinance 2-806, protective headgear required for motorcyclists and passengers of the city criminal and traffic code of the ordinances of the city of Mountain View. Whereas ordinance 2-806 of the city criminal and traffic code of ordinances for the city of Mountain View, Missouri requires every person operating or riding as a passenger on any motorcycle to wear protective headgear. And whereas the terms of 8-806 are no longer consistent with Missouri law regarding protective headgear, and therefore the Board of Aldermen has determined there is no need to repeal in its entirety and without replacement ordinance 2-806 of the City Criminal and Traffic Code of Ordinances for the City of Mountain View, Missouri. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Mountain View, Missouri, the City Code of Ordinances is hereby amended by the repeal of ordinance 2-806 in its entirety. This is reading number 1.
So, question, so does that mean we do or don't wear headgear when we're on motorcycles?
Well, what, I was going to question that as well in the discussion. According to state law, 26 and over do not need to wear headgear. That's their own choice.
Right.
Younger than 26, like 25, needs to be wearing headgear. And I'm curious, with us repealing the ordinance in its entirety, what do we fall back on if we are pulling someone over that's 21 and has no headgear? Are we using state?
State law.
State
Yes,
law.
if we don't
State
have
law.
one in place, we fall back to the
We
state
fall
law.
back. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I was looking for. So does that answer your question at the same time?
Yeah, it's just because I ride with my daughter sometimes, so I wanted to make sure we were legal. Yeah, we usually wear ours all the time, but I just want to make sure.
Okay, so you're going to need a motion to pass that, or just need to read it again?
You need to pass it and then read it again.
Motion.
I'll make a motion that we pass bill number 1356, ordinance 1728.
A second.
Any further discussion? Vote.
Aye.
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 First reading passes.
Do you want to do the second reading and get it over with tonight, since there's nothing really to discuss?
Yeah, let's get it over with.
Read the whole thing, I can summarize the second time, can't I? Okay. Bill number 1356, this is a second reading of ordinance 1728, an ordinance repealing ordinance 2-806, protective headgear required for motorcyclists and passengers of the city criminal and traffic code of the ordinance for the city of Mountain View, Missouri. Whereas ordinance 2-806 of the city criminal and traffic code of ordinances for the city of Mountain View, Missouri requires every person operating and riding as a passenger on any motorcycle to wear protective headgear. Whereas the terms of 2-806 are no longer consistent with the Missouri law regarding protective headgear, be it ordained that the city of Mountain View, Missouri and the city code of ordinances is hereby amended by repeal of the ordinance 2-806 in its entirety. Second reading.
I'll make a motion that we accept bill number 1356, ordinance 1728, second reading.
I'll second.
Vote.
Aye.
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 Let's finish, finally.
That was actually pretty quick, because we only talked about it, and she had to do some rewriting. So
Thanks to our attorney,
that's right.
you got her done.
Thank you.
Oh, anytime.
All right.
Council to discuss community center building. Anyone in particular have something to bring up on community center building?
Well, I just feel like we need to get something like cut and dry on the books about the rentals, about how everything's run down there. So that way, just moving forward, it's like black and white. We just need clear definitions of everything for everybody, so that way people aren't wondering, well, are we allowed to do this, are we allowed to do that, so.
John, can you give us, I know our auditor said that we needed to do something in order to, for the crowd's sake, to,
I think Shannon could explain that better than
Okay.
myself.
Did she talk to you
Separating.
yesterday? She
I
actually
talked with Awesome, and the exact wording was is that it needed to come back to the city in order to realign with what state statutes were, which is what the law is. Because you can't have any other entity making money off of a municipality's property. And that was the exact thing, same thing's coming through. So if we don't do something, when the big audit group comes through, we're gonna be held accountable because we know about it and we're not doing anything about it.
And to remedy this, I know that I was in a meeting recently with the chamber, as a matter of fact, and also many other people, all having to do with the community center, all dating back all the way to the storm we had and opening it as a shelter and all that. Did we do all that stuff yet? We didn't have notes on that, on the shelter.
I do it as
Thinking of the government.
It's on your list for the good of the order. It's a
Good of the
separate
Oh, it's
sheet.
in here, okay, we'll go into that then. I suggested that I really feel, and it's up to the board, of course, that the city should be responsible for the rental of the community center, not only to set the rates, but to handle it. We've got resources available, we've got people at the teller windows, 40 hours a week, basically. Anyone can come in or call in and reserve the community center for X amount of dollars, and they'll have the list and the only list, so that's where they call and check if it's booked or not, etc. It's just so handy that it would relieve, at this time, the Chamber of Commerce has been doing it, attempting to do it, and that's a burden on them that they're really not making any money at it. I talked to them and questioned them at the last meeting that they're making $4,000 a year off of that portion of it. Well, first of all, they can't make $4,000 off of the city entity, which is wrong in the audit according to what I'm hearing. But the main thing that I see is that it's a burden on them to try to keep someone in-house and available at all times to make appointments and to meet everybody and to do stuff. We have a full staff, 40 hours a week. We've got crews that can go over there and put tables up, put it down, do whatever it takes. We can keep track on the calendar of who's booking it for when. I would still give, without any problem, this is my suggestion, to like the Chamber of Commerce, Community Betterment, the Youth Center, anybody that wants to use it that is for the good of the entire community, they can rent it for $1, you know, in my view. That wouldn't be a problem. We're not going to try to make money off of any of these entities. If private persons wants to have a garage sale or something, that's different. They'll pay everything else. If it's a benefit, that wouldn't be a charge, more than likely not a charge. It's going to be up to you guys. But I think we could handle it that way and not worry about losing money by giving it out as a benefit at the time they need it. So I think it'd be better under our full control instead of partial control. When anything comes up, we know what's going on there and we can go from there. That's at least my suggestion. If that's what you guys want to do, all you do is say so.
I agree with that simply because, I mean, just as we saw with the bad weather come in, there was just, if we're gonna be using it for our purposes as a shelter, as a safe place for people to go, we can't really, you know, at certain times call them up and be like, do you have this rented out by any chance? It just slows the process down. I mean, that's our center, it's here for the citizens, so that's my opinion on that.
We already have somebody within the city for marketing also, so it can be something that just adds as far as for that too. The marketing that has been done has already improved the sections of the city and stuff that were in deficit for years, so we just keep leaning on that individual also.
I'll second that.
You guys mind if I say a couple things?
Oh, sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Point of view of the chamber,
Yeah.
if you don't mind.
Sure. Come on up. Ricky from the Chamber of Commerce.
So, we did discuss, what we had that meeting about, as far as the rentals at the chamber. And I don't think very many of us are in disagreement with respect to turning that over to the city. It is kind of a humbug to try to coordinate all of that, especially when people are in and out. And it does seem to make sense, for the city to take that over. You know, the chamber's big concern is just making sure we have an office to operate out of, which we've done with you guys for years. And then one question that we wanted to address, and we see this as the decision whether we are renting or not renting out those facilities. There's two reasons maybe not to do that. One, a lot easier for you guys to do it. It makes sense, it's your building. If there is a legal precedent, if it is not legal for us to be doing that, we would like to see that. Not so much to fight the fact that we're going to turn it over anyway, but in 5 or 10 years from now, when somebody else is in office and they say, hey, why don't you guys, take this over for us? We'd like someone, something in our record to show that here's the legal statute that says we can't do that. I don't, unless we see something, I don't understand how we've got away with it for as long as we have. We know that other chambers are doing similar things. And I don't know if it's exactly renting a city facility and getting money for it, or they operate it and the city gets the money and then it gets funneled back to them. We know West Plains get $12,000 in support from their city and such. So just a legal precedent would be helpful for us to have for our records, that's all. And I can't say definitively that all the chamber members are in complete agreement with it. We've got two new chamber members, board members that are coming on board, so we'll have a meeting tomorrow and discuss it, but I don't think there's gonna be too much of a fuss over the city taking over the rentals of it. I mean, it does make sense to me. If it's a city-run building, it seems to make sense to have the city getting the revenue from that. And that's really all I wanted to say.
It relieves you guys of trying to have someone there 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
And as far as the office is concerned, because, and this is my opinion, it's up to the board, the chamber is for the businesses, it's not profit making. It's not, they're not gonna make profit off of the office space, but it's gonna be used for the good of the businesses, which is automatically with sales tax involved, for the good of the residents of the entire community.
Sure.
So I don't have a problem with the chamber renting the office for $1 a year. You know, this way it's a monetary exchange, it is rented, we weren't giving anything to anybody, and it's for the benefit of the entire community.
I think the revenue right now, we were sitting at around 4,000 as of October. So I don't know, in the end, we're probably looking at $6,000 or $7,000 maybe. I don't know how much we bring in for November, December yet. It's probably not that much, but somewhere between $4,000 and $6,000 a year. So that is a little bit of a concern, losing that revenue. So we'll need to look at different ways to be able to recoup that, but I think it probably is worth it.
Well, this doesn't cut the chamber out of a lot of things. If the city can help in any way, shape, or form, we'll always try to help, because if we help the businesses, that helps the residents, that it's a circle. That's not a problem. I've got nothing against it. I think it's just a benefit to everybody involved. I really do.
Did the auditor give us a set statute that we can see that talks about that?
I'll make sure that we get something else, if nothing else,
They
from
might
what it
just
is
be able
for.
to do a letter.
Yeah, yeah, I'll have that, we'll communicate with her, she's supposed to be back next month anyway, and then the big auditing firm is after that. History, probably get with Linda Lewis, because originally that building was owned by Community Betterment.
Right.
And at that time, that relieved the city, but then when they folded Community Betterment, it reverted to the city. And I bet you that's when it actually started as far as food and legal.
Yeah, I don't know,
So-
talking to the Missouri Chamber, they don't see any legal issues with doing what we do over there. Although there are some issues with respect to how you record that money that comes into the chamber.
As also, because when I was on before, Linda came in and did a presentation monthly of everything that went on within that building. And we haven't seen that, well, since I've been back from overseas.
Yeah, personally, we should, if we're getting any kind of support from the city, that should be a given.
Should be, yes.
Yeah, so, and I think,
And
We'll
I know
start
you've
being
done that
present
even
for
from
that.
when your previous jobs and stuff before
Yeah.
too. So.
absolutely. And again, the legal standpoint is really a moot issue anyway. If the decision is better for the community to do what you're doing, then it's your center to do with what you will. But down the road, it'd be helpful to have that precedent.
Well, the first push is what came from the auditor, and that was 2.5 months ago was the first inclination. So,
Well, I know that what you're talking about as far as the monthly accountings and then also as far as the history of it, was the contract that was previously in place that is no longer in place. The most recent one that I could find in our records was from 2008. So the way that you can prevent the whole issue of an entity like the chamber making money off of the city property is if you have some sort of lease or contract agreement that structures it in a way so that you are not making money, you are trading services for that money, which is how that prior contract was set up, saying that the chamber would be doing basically daily maintenance, looking after it, putting in the man hours to rent it out, looking after the rentals, doing all of that stuff. And in exchange for doing all of that, they kept the money from the rentals. So that's what kept it from being a legal issue in the past, and that's what other cities also do. Specifically West Plains has basically word for word, because it was written by the same person, the exact same agreement that we used to have. But we haven't had one of those signed in a very long time, which is what causes the issue, is that for a long time we haven't had anything updated or signed, which would take care of that. And part of that contract, whenever it did exist, required someone from the chamber to come every month and give a monthly accounting.
So it's more of an agreement that's not in effect anymore. It's more of a legal issue than just a statute that says we can't do it, which is fine. we know that we haven't had an agreement in a long time, which is why we started this discussion a couple months ago, I think. Again, you know, it's a moot issue anyway, so,
Ricky, when you get a new person in there, are they gonna be running about the same schedule as we was before as far as?
we're hoping that we have at least 30 hours a week. And I'll be honest with you, in November, I think we had maybe 15 or something like that. It was pretty bad. And I don't know if December was any better or not, but we would like to get someone in there at least 30 hours a week if we can, and have a set schedule where it's not contingent on their schedule somewhere else working, that it's a set 60 hours that we'll have somebody there. And as we continue to grow, honestly, financially, we're doing okay right now. And I think we probably pretty soon will be able to afford someone that's full-time, I think. You know, we've changed our due structures now to where we're collecting dues in the middle of the year rather than the end of the year. So we'll have Pioneer Days in September and October, whenever it is, and then we'll bring in some of that money that's going to help. And then mid-year, we'll get another influx for membership dues. Will be very helpful to kind of keep an even flow of revenue coming in addition to some of the other things that we do. So yes, we are going to have someone that's in there more than what we've had recently.
I think it could be very exciting with having somebody in there that many hours, and then also with our marketing director here. If we can work together, we can do some big things for the city.
Yep, I agree.
And I think Chamber's moving in the right direction, because, you know, it's like, I've worked with you, you know, the youth center and everything, and I think you're very, I mean, anyone else from Chamber in the audience? Or is it just you?
Yeah, it's just me.
Okay, yeah, so, I mean, you're very beneficial to the Chamber right now. We appreciate you, you know, coming up and talking and helping us, because I feel like in the past administration, all of our organizations just kind of, and I mean, COVID did not help anything, but we need to just have these talks. We need to start getting back and building things back up to where they were, so thank you for.
Yep.
And keep in mind, we are supporting the chamber as much as we
Oh,
can.
well, believe me, we know. You know, just being in the building itself,
Yeah.
the office space is great to have, and the location couldn't be any better for a chamber, so we're very grateful for that.
And having somebody in there, then it's a point of contact if someone's looking for one of the businesses that you actually service. So,
That's all I really want to communicate. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I want to reiterate one more thing, Ricky. Thank you very much. This is 2 meetings in a row that you've been out here in front.
This meeting is much better than the last meeting.
I wasn't cooler down last meeting.
Cooler.
Thank you, Ricky.
Yeah, no problem.
So do we need to,
If you guys have
Do
a
anything
proposal you'd
official?
like to
like, do we need to,
make a motion.
It has to be made as a motion, yes.
how do we need to word that? Just,
Well, basically, you can make a motion that says we will instruct probably Shannon at this time, the clerk, to get with the chamber to make a, so to speak, exchange of the keys and exchange of the liabilities and information. And just, we'll take it from there. And from now on, we'll be running the building. So put that into a motion.
so, I make a motion for the city of Mountain View, don't worry, I'm gonna go slow,
Thank you.
to take over,
The duties.
yeah, the duties, of renting, managing, thank you,
Prepare.
upkeep, yeah.
This is
Maintenance.
not going slow.
This is slow.
This is slow.
Duties for rental,
Managing, upkeep
okay,
of the community center building.
Do we need to put anything in there about an office? No, we will provide-
Of what?
Need to put anything that we will provide office space for them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
within
for like the dollars.
does that need to be a separate motion?
I think we can put it all in the same, can't we? Because it's still about the building itself.
You could always say something, well, I mean, it would go under managing and renting if you choose to offer office space to city entities, because I think there's also more than one office in there, isn't there?
Yes.
That and
So you might not
community
wanna-
betterment, yeah.
Right, so you might not wanna say specifically what you're doing with one office if there are two. You might wanna leave it
So-
open.
We
That
can
would
say
just
to
be day-to-day.
provide office space.
Yeah, that would just be day-to-day business then.
Yeah,
But-
management.
Right, that would be part of the management, is doing contracts for office space rentals and things like that.
So does it need to be in the motion or just in the
No.
minutes?
Not in motion.
I think it's already included under.
Okay. So at this point, we just need a second.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Aye.
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 Aye. Council to discuss utility late fees. What's up with that from Sarah?
We talked, last week, I gave you guys, a couple hundred other cities around our area and how they charge for late fees, and Lyndall wanted me to, give them exactly how much we're spending, not only what we're collecting, which is $10 in late fees, compared to hundreds of other cities that are doing 10% of the bill, but then how much it would save the city to not send delinquents, which is what a lot of the other cities are now doing. So I provided how much it costs for delinquents and then how much we actually send per month.
Page 54.
And that's not counting the cost of the postage or the time that it takes.
Okay, so this is just to print.
So, for example, November, we sent out 279 different delinquent notices, October 201, September 288, August 293. And then a box of delinquents costs almost $450. And that's not counting the ink or the time for the cutting or the folding or the tearing
for the stamps.
and the stamps.
So you're over just over $100 a month, $110. And the suggestion is that, what, to?
That's up to you guys. It just came in the discussion about the amount of late fees that the city would charge comparing to the other cities. And then it came up in the discussion is how much is it costing us to send delinquents out? Because that came up in discussion,
Yeah, 'cause
is whether we would continue.
we were debating putting into effect, just across the board, 10%.
10% of the total
Late
bill
fee
is
or
what
whatever
everybody
the
else
bill
is
is.
moving to.
And that makes a level playing field for whoever's bill it is, no matter what. Instead of, shoot, if I have a $500 bill and I don't feel like paying it, it's only gonna cost me, what, $10?
$10, and that's what they tell
$10.
us.
It's gonna cost me
I didn't feel
$10,
like
I'll worry
getting
about
out.
the next one. Yeah, that's cheaper than interest. So this way, if it's 10% of that bill, that's $50.
I think some of them have gone to a flat fee that's that's higher than what the thing is too, because
And a flat fee wouldn't be as fair, because if I'm retired and my bill is only $45,
Yep.
and I pay the same as someone that's $500 late, that's not fair. So this way, mine should be 10%, theirs should be 10%.
And it sounds fair.
And on the delinquent notices is what I was wondering about, is because we have to send those out again. Then we have to send somebody out to shut them off. And I know in my heart, there is people out there that's probably strapped for cash and they have tough time. But I would say there's probably, just guessing, I'll give a good solid estimate of 75% of them wait till the 14th or 15th to do their stuff just because. And then if they forget about it, so it's actually costing us more money. That's why I was wondering if we could do away with that and just not even do the second. Because they should be responsible enough, I know I do that myself. I should be responsible enough to go pay my bill on time or get the
One
delinquent
of the
notice.
other problems that we face is that the delinquents are on the 15th. So then she has to go into the system, get everything, and get them printed. It takes her almost an hour and a half to fold, because we have to fold and tear all these off, all the excess material. Then she has to sort them a certain way for the post office. Then we get them to the post office. Then our mail goes all the way to Springfield, Missouri, and then comes all the way back for shut-offs on the 21st. Most of the time, they're getting them a day to the shut-off day anyway. They're not getting them enough time. And no one's fault.
Yeah, no.
But it's almost pointless. They'll get their reminders after shut-offs anyway, because the mail, the way it's processed right now.
when you were canvassing the other communities, did you find others that do not give out that late notice?
More and more all the time.
How Oregon puts on there, this is when it's due,
Yeah,
this
they
is when your
quit too
turn off,
because of the
and that's
cost.
it.
Yeah.
It's all on the one
I mean,
bill.
we
So
got
that
that
might be
information.
the easiest fix.
So paid out, paid before this date, paid after this date, that's what it's gonna cost.
I see what Mr. Gray.
Isn't Mountaindale Healthcare always late?
Yes, so
You gotta
theirs,
have to take them 10%?
theirs is actually because they, kind of like our bills, they have to wait for their board meeting to get approved.
They're
So
late,
that's why theirs is always late.
they're not delinquent.
That's the way it's always been. I
Are
don't
you
know.
gonna ding them?
Yep,
That's the answer
something
for
to
them.
think about, because when you start talking about a fair playing field, in order, depending on my own personal finances, they don't come in till the next 10 days later. Do I get a break also, wait 10 days?
Right.
Hey, that's my board meeting. So it's up to me to redo my finances per month so that I'll have the money ready to pay. And that is something, what we'll do is go take it up with them, let's discuss it with them. They've been getting a break all this time, and let's see if we can't level the playing field.
I didn't hear him. What entity was he talking about?
Mountain View Healthcare.
What
Okay,
is the
we got
average
another
bill?
one.
Which is one of ours.
Yeah, what's their average bill?
Something else we'll have to discuss too is, like there's a lot of people that get, assistance through the
Ozark Action.
Ozark Action.
Yeah.
They're always late too, so are we gonna deem
Yeah,
those people
right.
because,
And they actually, Ozark Action, when the funding comes in, they actually cover the $10 late fee
Yep.
I think we,
Oh,
because it's sometimes a month to 2 months before we ever get paid
oh,
for that.
and they pay it.
They pay the $10 late fee, yeah.
Well,
But are they gonna pay a 10%?
yeah.
it'd be a late fee, whatever late fee is.
Maybe everybody will start paying everything on time.
Something to look into.
That's
So, do we need a motion to not give out the late, waste the time and money on the late fees? And I'm sure we need a motion to change the fees to 10%. And does that have to be read in 2 different meetings?
Believe both of those are laid out in the fees ordinance, which means we will need to redo it.
Okay, so we can have a motion to instruct you to do that?
Sure.
Entertain such a motion.
are we going to discuss the late, you're just gonna do 10% and then go back to it later on to discuss the,
Yes, because we would take it up with those entities first.
okay.
So we've got a couple, we've got a handful of bigger businesses that we do not ever get their payment for.
So we could talk to each one and see what's happening,
Yeah.
see what can be
See when their
remedied,
board meetings
see how
are
we
and
can
see.
remedy it.
And that's exactly what it
Even
is.
if
It's
it's
just
a
a
partial.
chain climb. Not that they're not wanting to pay it, but it's just, there's lots of channels in some of the bigger businesses.
You'll
Oh,
also
yeah.
want to make sure that they didn't have some agreement with some past administration to not be deemed delinquent that we just can't find a copy of.
Yeah.
So
And that's entirely
entirely
not here what it is, they say.
Yeah.
Do we have any such motion? To change the fees to 10%?
So are we officially changing it, or are we just like making,
We're going to ask the attorney to put together an ordinance to do so.
We'll still have to have
Yeah,
2
we'll still have
readings as far as for that
and then
anyway,
that'll
but
give Shannon
Right.
and John the time.
The
to-
time.
to-
she's looking at a minimum of 2 months.
I'll make that motion to
Authorize her to put together an ordinance.
authorize our city attorney to put together the paperwork to revise the ordinance regarding utility fees.
To 10%.
Put that
In
and
the
eliminate
ordinance. That's what she's going to do.
the, okay, to revise and to remove the sending
Revise
out.
late fees
Well-
to 10% of the total bill. Is that what you're saying?
I think the other one needs to be a separate motion because it doesn't go to her. It's us saying. that
I think it
Is
is
it all in
in,
one?
I think it's in the ordinance.
Is
that
it in
late
the ordinance?
fees or the
Okay.
delinquent
For the
notices.
delinquent notices in there?
I think the whole thing is in there, yeah.
Okay.
Like, we were very
Yes, it's
short.
not gonna be in there too.
Throw that in.
Got you. Delete.
We have a motion on the floor, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Clarification?
We'll be doing that next week.
Okay.
I think also as part of that, we probably need to look at not only the repeat, but see if we can figure out why they're repeating, and this
Yeah.
might stop some of that, but
This will
That's the
still
big thing.
keep us significantly behind most of the other towns, I'll just point that out. Most of the other towns are now, some, for example, once you're turned off, you come in and you pay a whole other deposit again, and it just keeps adding up. City administrator had told us in an MPUA meeting that they have some customers with over $1,000 in deposits just sitting, because every time they get shut off, they pay their deposit again, plus their late fee, plus their bill. And they're repeat offenders, and they're just trying everything they can just to try to keep people from getting shut off all the time. So it's still gonna make us cheaper than most other
We
towns.
have a motion on the floor, seconded, do we vote?
Aye.
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 New business discussion of bank account setup. What's the bank account setup?
So the city has multiple accounts with the bank. There is one for general, there is one for payroll, there is one for electric deposits, and there's two for court, and then there's some for the CDs. G-Works, which is our software company, has, at least in the 2 years I've been here, nonstop complaining because it is so difficult. There's so many things that we do on a normal basis and that electric does on a normal basis, and we have to end up doing transfers nonstop. Once our new auditors came in, they were like, what are you doing? Why do you have all of these? Like, this is crazy. And then when we got our financial consultant, she again said, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Like, this is adding so much work and it's so confusing for the auditors. The auditors are not liking that also. I actually talked with someone with G-Works today, and he said he's been there for over 10 years. He has never seen a city have so many separate checking accounts. They're all their recommendation. We won't change anything with the court accounts because that's how the payments are. Some are set up for the old payments, some are set up for the new ones, so we have to keep both of those open. The general would remain in place. The payroll account would then combine with the general, and the electric deposit account would still combine with the general. So the checks and balances would still stay into effect. For example, when I do payroll, it goes to a girl at the front counter. It then goes to our AP person, then it comes back to me, then it goes to Sarah for a final check. So none of that would ever change. It's just instead of doing all the transfers back and forth all the time, it would just be one account. So if that is something that you guys would approve, I need a motion to do that. And then inside that motion, it would need to say the three names that need to be on the accounts, because I have to have that for sentence.
Would that increase our interest rate that we get off the, since we got one big lump
Yes,
sum?
it would,
So we'd actually make a little bit more off of it?
yes, because we get more in the general.
Eliminate the possibility of recurring fees that,
Yep,
each have their
fees.
Exactly.
We've been fighting with that for a while.
Yep.
I would make a motion for Shannon to restructure the checking accounts and combine them into one, that whoever you wanted on those accounts.
So in your motion, if it's okay, I need to add a motion to combine payroll,
Oh, specific account.
electric deposit account into the general.
Yes.
I just have to have that for them to be able to let me do that.
And who's your three go-to? You, John, and?
The names on the accounts is Sarah Chowning, Kelly Potts, and Shannon Elliott, which has always been on there.
Okay,
But I just have to have those names in there when they go to combine them.
that would be my motion.
Second, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second, is there any further discussion? Vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Yeah, let's go straight in.
Could you share one with me? We have to see it.
biggest deal of the night.
Closing?
And I'm not joking. Swearing in the fire chief. Shannon, you gonna do that?
Just anywhere right up here?
Just face her.
All right. Do you, Jason Tabor, solemnly swear that you possess all qualifications required by the law for the office of fire chief in the cities of the 4th class, that you support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Missouri, and the provisions of all laws affecting the cities of this class, and the ordinances of the city of Mountain View, Missouri, and faithfully demean yourself while in office of fire chief?
I do.
Thank you, sir. If I can get you to sign that right there for me.
I'm gonna let him do it. He's in charge.
Congratulations, sir.
Well, I'm gonna shake his hand.
And I want to thank this man for stepping up, and he was supposed to start January 1st. We needed him early because of things that went on. And he stepped up and has been right on top of it. He's on the ball. I appreciate that.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Gosh, it looks like a teacher with his kindergarten class.
All right.
No, I don't want to.
Everything else is downhill from here on out. Nothing as good as that.
Oh,
Okay.
no, this next one is perfect.
It's coming on. It's just
This next one, I want to know how long it's been on the books.
Since the beginning.
Yeah.
It's been my favorite for a long time.
Yeah.
We laugh at this, like, we're
Yeah.
gonna have to find something else to laugh at now, so.
Bill 1357, ordinance 1729, an ordinance repealing 21.230. And that is the mayor acting as police judge. And I want to know why I wasn't made aware of that power all along.
You didn't read your ordinance book, which is exactly why you don't get to be a judge.
That was my part, my screw up.
Snooze, you lose.
So I believe you could read your ordinance.
Okay. This is Bill 1357, ordinance 1729, an ordinance repealing ordinance 21.230, mayor act as police judge when of the city code of ordinances for the city of Mountain View, Missouri. Whereas ordinance 21.230 of the city code of ordinances for the city of Mountain View, Missouri allows the mayor to act as a municipal judge if the municipal judge is absent. And whereas the terms of 21.230 are no longer consistent with Missouri law regarding qualifications for an individual to act as the judge. And therefore, the Board of Aldermen has determined there is no need to repeal in its entirety and without replacement ordinance 21.230 of the City Code of Ordinances for the City of Mountain View, Missouri. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Mountain View, Missouri, the City Code of Ordinances is hereby amended by the repeal of ordinance 21.230 in its entirety. This is reading number 1.
There is definitely a need to review. I make a motion that we accept bill number 1357, ordinance 1729 as read.
There's further discussion. It's taking away power from this seat. Boy, it's terrible.
If you came to court last month like you were planning, I was gonna let you sit in the chair and everything, but then you wouldn't take your hat off, so you couldn't come in.
Oh, God, I missed my chance.
Just take your last
I
opportunity.
missed my chance.
So are you guys okay with me doing a second reading and just closing this
So
one up?
we gotta pass it first.
Yeah, we gotta go, we haven't done it.
Okay, vote.
Aye.
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 Okay. You okay with me doing a second?
I am.
Everybody?
Does anybody else have a problem?
Let's read it through and get it over with.
All right. Second reading of bill number 1357, ordinance 1729, an ordinance repealing ordinance 21.230. Mayor act as police judge when the city code of ordinances for the city of Mountain View, Missouri. Whereas ordinance 21.230 of the city code of ordinances for the city of Mountain View, Missouri allows the mayor to act as a municipal judge if the municipal judge is absent. Whereas terms of 21.230 are no longer consistent with Missouri law regarding qualifications for an individual to act as judge. Therefore, the Board of Aldermen has determined there is no need to repeal in its entirety and without replacement ordinance 21.230 of the City Code of Ordinances for the City of Mountain View, Missouri. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Mountain View, Missouri, the City Code of Ordinances is hereby amended by the repeal of ordinance 21.230 in its entirety. Second reading.
Motion?
I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second, but he shortcut it.
I was looking for the number.
Bill number 1357, ordinance 1729.
We have a motion on the table and seconded. Vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oh, we missed one.
Can I vote? No.
No.
You're not supposed to.
Took away all my power that I didn't know I had.
I didn't see barber or dentist in there, so you can still be the barber and dentist.
Don't worry, we still have some more to go.
And that's good, that's part of,
There are a few that were like, what?
that's a good part of what we set out to do as a board, to make this office more sustainable throughout, no matter who gets elected, when, where, what, or for what reason. And it just works out better in the long run.
Legally, to keep up with.
Okay, before I go into the good of the order, can I get- yes,
Me?
yes.
Go.
What did I do?
Can you do me a favor? Go back there and, thank you.
Mason.
Oh, yeah. Well, we could do Mason.
Let's give it a minute.
Yeah.
Go back there and check the pulse rate for us.
Thank you.
She doesn't want a big fuss, but.
No, we got it scheduled.
Okay, that was the other business, and before we go into closed session, for the good of the order, I have a few things that I'd like to bring up, and then maybe we'll ask if anyone else has anything to add. The new trash truck, what's the status of the new trash truck?
It got delivered a week ago today. They are very afraid of getting it dirty. I think they're petting it daily. It has taken us almost 2 years from the time it was purchased to actually get it here. They are super, super excited, like literally not wanting to take any plastic off of anything. They don't want to pick up trash in it. They're super excited.
There's your new trash can. There's
They
your.
waited 2 years.
2 years.
June of 20 is when we ordered it.
Yeah, so it is here. It is in working order. They're using it, so.
We may need a motion, but Dave asked if he could borrow it to use it for church just one time.
Yeah, before it got dirty. In fact, he made all of us go out and touch it, and we all had to get inside of it, and he took all of our pictures. He is like a kid in a candy store. Super proud, so we all are.
As for the election updates, there will be election for the alderman coming up, 2 seats that are available, and there's 1 person for each seat that's running. Of course, I imagine there can be a write-in, but that's all I know there, unless you know something more about it.
No, we do still have to have an official election though, so.
Okay, and then for the pool updates, you may have noticed quite a bit of hustle going on around the pool. We do have that going. We're putting the grant, the 50/50 grant that we are receiving into effect, and we're doing our half of it, the in-kind service, and our crews are having at it. Of course, it's not as easy as it looks, because nothing ever it seems to be. Back then, cement must have been cheap, and
Rebar.
rebar had to be free, because that baby is not, the parts that we have to tear out in order to rebuild the parts that need to be fixed are really stubborn, and they're doing it. Our crews are doing a fantastic job, the city people. We're borrowing just a few people from each department so that we don't leave the departments without anyone to take care of things, day-to-day business. But as they're available, we're using them over there. And Eddie, our manager there, is doing a fantastic job of keeping them all going and getting a lot of progress done. We're actually ahead of schedule with the contractor. I know he's gonna be thrilled. He's coming out Thursday to get started on their preliminary work. And they'll be hitting it for the next month. And we really plan to be open for May, the last weekend in May. We should be open by then without any problem. So what we see.
I also want to add, we're working really hard to make some things better for the pool. So we will be able to take debit cards now. That's something that was never able to do before. We've been working really closely, Eddie and I, Carla, John, we've been sitting and talking about things that we can offer in the snack area to produce better revenue, to offer more options to people buying. So we're just trying to bring it up to speed and make it a little bit more user-friendly, so.
And that's by a new POS system, right?
Yes, there is going to be a new POS system, so instead of it being back in the 70s when it was built, we'll actually have something that we can keep inventory and make it a lot more customer-friendly.
You have a question, sir?
Have we looked into chemicals yet for the pool? Because I know it's taken a lot longer to get chemicals, chlorine and everything.
Yeah, and we're changing our chemical system from the chlorine tablets
So we've gone
to
salt
the
water.
bleach system.
Oh, bleach.
The liquid bleach, which is the same thing we use for our water treatment, so it's gonna be a lot handier. And
We already
cheaper.
have vendors
Bigger bulk cost on it.
look at it.
Yeah.
We use it.
They'll make
I
their
just-
rounds.
I know when I had my pool, it was hard to find chlorine
Yeah.
half the summer.
Yeah.
And I know last year we talked about opening the pool, but we couldn't get chemicals sometimes, so we didn't do it. Just making sure we're on top of that.
Okay, and then Oak Street project with Toth or Toth? Toth, I was getting confused. With the engineers Toth, we met with them. All I can say is it's moving along. Not as well as I thought and hoped for, but we're getting there. They're putting out the bids, they're getting the bids out shortly. The bids don't come in too ridiculously high, we should be right on that, but I didn't bring the paperwork in, I don't think, with me. I don't know, I had it with me. Yeah, I did. But we'll see what happens when the bid comes in, but we're one way or another, we're gonna do it. We're gonna get it, we're gonna get Oak Street done. And so far, we're not behind on the time schedule. Turns out there was some discrepancies in the original two bids, mainly the one that was the lowest bid, I believe, that they took last time around. And I mean, big discrepancy. When we start talking about a concrete precast duct costing, what was it, $300 a foot, and it's in reality $900 a foot.
Wow.
And it was that way 2 years ago as well. It's not like that just changed. It was just someone messed up way back, and it's going to be a rough one for us to get in, but we're gonna still go at it. We're still going to be on schedule as far as we know. We're constantly working on it, but it's going. And then when it comes to what happened, just before Christmas, we're right around. What day was that? We had the power outage and the snow.
Christmas weekend.
Yeah, that Christmas weekend was pretty bad off for our town. And we did have I believe a transformer burned up in one place and some fusing that blew in other places. It took some doing to get them changed out in that weather, if you guys remember the weather. Oh, the wind chills were 27 below or more.
Yeah.
And it was just horrendous. And everybody stepped up. Everybody within this city stepped up. It was fantastic. We didn't have anyone says it's not my job. Everyone was out there in the cold looking for the faults and finding problems and locating it and getting it done as quickly as we could. Our electrical crew was fantastic. The other crews all pitched in. Everybody jumped in their trucks. everybody did what they could to keep warm and pass the hot chocolate and coffee going around. I went out there just to see what's up and see if there's anything I can do, which they didn't need me. They did great. They all did fantastic. I really want to commend everybody that pitched in and got everything back up and going for that night of horror for Mountain View. It could have been really, really bad, but they cut it off. They did good. We had water main breaks that were right then, of course, because of the coldest weather and everything. Everybody, again, from different crews, all pitched in. The water crew, everybody did a fantastic job. They worked with what they had. It's hard to get parts, especially if it's after hours. They were able to manage. They are even swapping with other communities, because we do work with other communities. And it all worked out so well. The water mains were fantastic. For those nights, we set up a warming station at the community center. Shannon and Carla, I know, were two of the volunteers. There were more others. Her husband came and sat at night and kept the community center open. We had food, snacks, drinks, everything, a place for people to come in and sleep. We had people coming in while the power was out, warming up, whether it be for 2 hours or 8 hours, whether it be to take a nap or just sit and talk whether somewhere's warm. It worked out really well, really well. I came down there a lot that night too. I was just there for snacks, so warm soup, but it really was good. And other people as well as businesses were donating money and pitching in. Even the council here donated money, and we've got help for people that needed it those nights. Got motel rooms set up as far as Birch Tree away. Got them food, got some home, I'll call them homeless, but I don't know if they're homeless. People in need, got them some clothing on their back, and got them some nice hotel accommodations for a few nights. It was really good, and I want to thank you guys for pitching in and doing that. I know Linda, he went through above and beyond that weekend. He really did good. And was Santa good to you? Because he should have been.
He was.
He should have been. He really.
Santa wasn't, but it was a good Christmas to be able to help the needy out.
There you go.
Very appreciative people.
It was excellent.
That's what Christmas is all about.
Do you guys have something to add about anything about the cold?
Oh, yes. I was out of town, but my phone kept blowing up. So the mayor is not taking credit for some of the things, but there's also some other key individuals that come through. Ricky was on that list as far as with Chamber, as far as helping out. The mayor restarting and getting electric put back up for generators and things, which I know they were very grateful as far as for. We had other citizens from churches and other things came in. The meal was provided by different people too. So it was definitely what the community and stuff, everybody coming together for common good, and that is something too. So again, I'm putting it up for him because he doesn't like taking credit for some of the stuff that goes through, and I understand that because I'm pretty much the same way, but we're grateful to have you in that position.
Glad to help feel good about it just as he does. I want to express that, who would you say, I know Sonic donated food for our community center. McDonald's did.
Vindell.
And Vindell's. Shout out to all three of them that we really appreciate it. It came in handy. It was good. Everybody, they need a hot meal. We had it. And you were there for us.
Rotary brought snacks, Rotary supplied
Rotary,
blankets.
Rotary kicked in.
Georgia's,
Church, which is right behind Signal.
yeah, I can't think of the name of it, but they loaned us a bunch of blankets, and I've since returned those. They donated a burger for Carla and I to make this huge pot of chili. Gosh,
Hold on, I'm looking for the
I had
message.
funds, money donated from several individuals, just to provide them changes of clothes and things like that, and food to, once they moved from us, to give them things to take care of them, so. Yeah, Rotary. I think that's everybody.
A big thanks goes out to all who helped and all who pitched in. And it didn't take any arm bending or twisting. Everyone was there. I appreciate it, businesses and person as well.
Men's group.
Yes, what's it called?
Give me a
Care
second.
Center.
Care
The
Center.
care center as well, that's right, they came and sat,
We had a reserve
Took care of things
officer
at the-
come
at the
in and
community center,
sit
police
part of the time
department.
too, so.
yeah, so it was good to see that.
We also contacted MoDOT and informed them that they could come in and warm up or get food also as they were plowing, so they were very grateful.
It's a good sign that when someone's in need, that, boy, the help, it came from all corners, and it was good, that was excellent. Because it was Mother Nature, what else can we do? And here, we did plenty good, and it all turned out very well.
One of the downside, and I wish everybody else, as far as there, keep Nick Haverin in your prayers during his recovery of the incidents that happened from that actual cold weekend. And hopefully he'll have a speedy recovery. I'm pretty sure he's still at home,
Oh, yeah.
but got a long thing ahead of him coming forward, so.
Actually, he's been at the station a
I
couple of times.
I wasn't gonna say that out loud, but,
Yeah, he's came in to visit me too, so.
okay, so.
Nancy
definitely,
comes into
'cause
the
he's still
office
got a
every time she
recovery
has to
coming
take him to the
forward.
fire station and says something like, now, if he gets in one of those trucks. So,
Hard to keep
he's
a
out
good
and
man
about.
down.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
And then also, I want to say that the parade was fantastic. Chamber did a very good job. The people, the floats, excellent. We had a good turnout. A lot of people came out to see, and it was really good. That was a good parade. I really, or usually our Christmas parades aren't all that good. It's smaller and slower. And this time around, it's really, people stepped up and the chamber took care of them. I'm thankful that all worked out really well. And that helps our town all the way around, keeps the morale up. Okay, is there anything else you guys want to add about the parade or the storm? I do want to say that there has been a question about the junior firefighters and that they cannot train or something. This board has never said that. The city has never said that. Don't get that confused. If people are interested, talk to the fire chief, go see what can be done. We don't have a problem with junior firefighters training and learning and working their way into the firefighting system. We'll take all the volunteers we can get. It's fantastic. We're all for it. The only thing that was ever said by the city was from MIRMA, our community insurance agency, and this came from Kelly Beats, who represents them to us, and they said most junior firefighters are allowed to practice the training, however, are not allowed to fight or go to the fire scene. That's all that was said, so it got misconstrued. I want to clear that up. We, the city, and our insurance company cannot be liable for them to be on the scene firefighting or in training sessions where they are putting their hands on. They're juniors, they're learning, they're there to watch and learn and stand back. Not, I won't say get in the way, but not on the scene. Otherwise, we want to get them in and get them moving up. So, just wanted to clarify that. And if there's anything that anyone else wants to bring up, feel free to do so at this time. Are we good? No questions?
More lights on.
You guys?
Houses and stuff, if we put more lights and stuff on, it might deter some of the drive-by crime. Is that a good word to put that?
That's a good term for it.
Drive-by crime. So in other words, we do have some break-ins and things that are going on that are throughout the community. If we put more lights on driveways, doorways, whatever you can, it will help to deter that. Also, parking vehicles up under lights is a lot better than parking it in the street where it's dark, because don't make yourself a target of opportunity. That's a better way. Stetson, do you have anything else you'd like to add to that?
Lock your car doors.
Lock it, yes.
I have not, this year I've not taken any report from a car break-in that was not unlocked. So lock your car door, please.
And don't leave your firearms in your vehicles. Okay. That, it is another trend, and this time of year, it seems to be more prevalent, so that's mine.
The only other thing I would address is, there was a recent newspaper article that everybody is all talking about in town, and don't worry about it, it was an opinion, which is great. I have no problem with a person putting their opinion in a newspaper. I'm not against it, I don't have any argument there, nothing. It's not necessarily a bunch of facts, it is an opinion. And I respect that person's opinion for doing so and signing name to it and owning up to it. Fantastic. So that newspaper article that everybody's worried about, that puts the city in a bad light and the fire department in a bad way, there's no facts to back it up. So, in fact, I just so happen to have it here, but it's an opinion. So just take it for what it's worth. It's an opinion, and that's fine. We're all entitled to our opinion. So there's not much really to argue about there, and no reason to. Just lay that to rest. If anybody ever has questions on it, feel free to come to the meeting and ask, or come to City Hall and ask, and you will get firsthand facts. I really try not to give opinions when it comes to city matters. But my opinion, the only thing would be is if I don't have facts, then forget it. But my opinion is I'm not giving you the answer. I don't have facts, but I'll find them for you if I can. Keep that in mind. I think all the boards will agree and do the same thing if you come up and talk to any of the board members and future board members as well.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
If I get somebody breaking into my vehicle, what can I do? What do I do? Call the cops? The guy will be gone by then.
Right. Right. What do you say, Assistant Chief?
Contact the police.
But we're allowed to protect our property, are we not?
You don't want your police officers telling people how to do that.
That's
in
correct.
a professional
That
setting.
is correct.
Not something you want them doing.
Protect your property, but
But would I be able to,
you have, I get where you're coming from, but the key is that you also have to be in defense of your life. So, if you cause a confrontation that turns bad, it will not turn out good for you.
But he's pretty good size. If he were to pin somebody down and I went to call the police, is that an okay thing?
I'm just gonna say, you call 911 and ask for an officer.
I'll fall back on we're allowed to protect our property as well as ourselves and our loved ones. So do what you feel is necessary.
I'll shake it.
Any other questions? So we're going to have a motion for a closed session for, what was the number, closed session?
RSMO 610.0213.
Subsection
Yeah, that one.
Yep.
You need a motion?
Yep.
I make a motion, we go into closed session with RSMO 610.021.3.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 2 minute recess. Okay.